Okay, this tutorial is going to be on how to use a spreadsheet application to do some simple formulas and then also make a couple different charts. So for this tutorial, we're going to use the Apple Numbers application, which is the green app that has the bar graph on it that says numbers. You may have to flip through your pages of applications to find it, and once you do, just click on numbers. It's going to come up to this page here. We're going to all want to start with a new spreadsheet, so go to the top right where the plus button is, and then from here we want to click just a blank spreadsheet, which is the top left. Okay, so now that we have it open, the first thing we want to do is let's name the spreadsheet. So to do that, we just click up here in the double tap on it where it says sheet 1, and let's rename it. I'm going to name mine baseball bar graph, and then I'm going to put my name there. So for yours, you put your name. So my name is Tanner. And then next I'm going to rename it from Table 1 to Baseball Bar Graph. So once I have Table 1 highlighted, then I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom of the screen where you see a keyboard button. Click that button, which then brings the keyboard up, which then allows you to change the words. So I'm going to type in Baseball Bar Graph. From here, now let's start filling out our table. So first let's put on there the player's name, so the x-axis. It always works best in the spreadsheet program to do the x-axis as your first column and then the y-axis on your second column. And then so our x-axis, let's go on and put player's name, and then let's go on and type the x-axis right here. And then on the second one, let's do number of runs y-axis. Alright, so you can see how it looks like it needs to be a little bit wider. So first what you do is you click on there where up in the top where you can see there's two little lines here. You're going to grab those little lines and stretch it out just a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing for B. So you click on the B, let's stretch it out just a little bit. Okay, so that looks much better. So now let's put in all of the players' names. So we click on the next blank cell, which would be A2, press the keyboard button, and let's type in Mark. Once you have the first name in there, you can press the return button and it moves down. So then I'll do Tracy. And then let's do Doug, Patty, and then Sarah. And then next we'll need to go over to number of runs in the y-axis, and let's type in the corresponding number of runs. So Mark has 8. We can change the keyboard over at this point from ABCs to 1, 2, 3. So 8. 12 for Tracy, 11 for Doug, 4 for Patty, and 7 for Sarah. Okay, so now we can change it back to the ABCs. So one of the most useful things about a spreadsheet is that we can use the formulas on it like a calculator, but also changes as the data in the table changes. That's the coolest part. So underneath where it says players' names, let's go on and let's do the average, which is also known as the mean. So just type in average, and then we need to type in the average formula. So at any time in a spreadsheet, to activate the formulas option, you need to press the equal sign. So you can see the equal sign at the top of the keyboard. So press equals. You'll notice the keyboard changes a little bit. And then now we need to go ahead and type in average. And then press parentheses, and we need to find the range that we're looking for. So we need to click on the top number, so that's B2, and we need to go down to B6, and then press the check mark. So it looks like the average is 8.4. So what if we want to know the sum? So an easy way to do the sum, we'll add up what all the runs are together. We'll press the keyboard button again, and let's type in sum. And then now let's make the sum formula. So we'll press the equal sign again. Then we'll type in sum, parentheses. Now, so a different way besides highlighting the area that you want to add up would be to also type in the coordinates. So we can start with B2 and then use the colon, and then we'll go to B6, which is the bottom one that Sarah is. Press close the parentheses and press the green button. So now look, the sum is 42. So let's look up for the median. So let's label it median, and then now let's use the median formula. So we press equals, and then we type in median, and then we do the parentheses. And let's use the same method we used earlier with the coordinates. That way we don't have to try to press it with the touchscreen. So B2, colon, B6, and then we'll do a check mark. Okay. And let's see, we've got the average, the sum, the median. So let's do the mode. What do you think the mode is here? So we type in label mode, and then we're going to go over cell, and we're going to do equals, and then mode, and then let's use that same range, B2 to B6, and press the check mark again. So look, it comes up with an error. So the problem is this set of data does not have any repeating values. So the definition of a mode is the most times that a value is repeated. And since we don't have any repeating data here, it's going to leave the warning there. We can just press the return button, and we can press the down arrow to get rid of the keyboard. So at this point, we've typed in our data. We have found the sum, the average, the median, and the mode, which, as we saw, there is no mode for this data. So another important thing is to find the range. So in a spreadsheet formula, the easiest way to find the range is to write a formula that finds the maximum number and subtracts it from the minimum number. So let's type in range. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. And then we're going to write the formula right here beside here. So in this one, we're almost going to write two formulas. So range, we're going to do the equal sign again. We're going to do the max. We're going to do the parentheses. We're going to go B2 to B6 again, same as earlier. Close those parentheses. Now here's the different part. We're going to press the minus button, and then we're going to type in min. So this is going to find the smallest number in the range, and then we're going to type in B2 to B6, and then close those parentheses. So basically what you're asking this formula to do is find the maximum number in that range of data and subtract it by the minimum number. And so that's going to be what our range is. So we're going to press the green button again, and it looks like for this set of data the range is 8. Let's close our keyboard out so we can see better on the bottom right. So now that we have that done, let's use this data to make first a bar graph. So to make it a bar graph, we don't want to get all the data with the formulas that we made. That'll just confuse it. We just want to go from A1, which is player names, x-axis, and go down to the 6th row down at Sarah, and then we want to go over to the B so it has a number of runs in the y-axis. Once we have it highlighted like this, a little box pops up, and on the right side of it we want to click Cell Actions. Once we click Cell Actions, it asks us, do we want to create a new chart? And we're going to say yes. And so let's stick with the 2D charts on this, and we're going to use the bar chart, so the top left. But we can choose whatever color you guys like to see. So there's several different colors. Everybody can pick their own. And so I'm going to pick green for this one. I'm going to click the bar. So that's going to now pull up a graph which is going to look very similar to your assignment. If you notice, it's got the names across the bottom, and it's got the number of runs in the y-axis. And then also by the title, notice that there's a green box. That is the key. In more advanced spreadsheet making programs, we can do more editing, such as labeling the x and y axes. We can label the title. So if you're doing this on a computer or a device with a more advanced spreadsheet application, we can do that. But here on the iPad, with using the Apple Numbers application, that's not going to be possible. So next, let's try to make a pie graph out of that same data. So let's highlight the data again. And so we're going players' names, x-axis, and the number of runs, y-axis, and we're going down to line 6 with Sarah. And we're going to hit Cell Actions again, and we're going to hit Create a New Chart. And this time let's do the pie graph, but let's all pick a different color. So on this one, I'm going to pick blue. I like blue a lot. So click the pie graph signal, and it's going to put that pie graph right underneath there. So you notice that the pie graph has a key at the top, and then it's what percentages each person hit compared to the other. So we can see that Mark hit 19% of them, while Doug hit 26% of them. So it's another way to look at how the data reflects, and you can kind of see, which player on the team is, doing the largest percentage of the runs. So, it's a good way to say, who's doing the most here. So that's how we make a table, how we use the formulas, how we make a bar graph, and how we make a pie graph. So now, this data is not any good if we don't save it. So let's get this data saved. So we're going to press the top right, and let's go ahead and export this data. And let's do it as a PDF file. That's a good way to make it a printable document. And we're going to use print settings and hit send. And we're going to hit choose how to send at this point. And we're going to just save it to the files. And we're just going to do save on my iPad, numbers, and just hit add at the top right. And then, so another thing we also want to do is we want to hit the spreadsheets button and go back to the main page. And we're going to change this blank 5. We want to rename it. So that way we're renaming the file name. We're going to change it from blank to, let's do your name on it. So I'm going to do Tanner's Baseball Bar Graph. So that way this numbers file will be saved on this tablet and we'll know whose is whose. So basically we have it saved in two formats, one as a numbers file and one as a PDF. And the PDF will be better for wanting to email it out. So that is all we wanted to learn in this assignment. If you can please let the teacher know any questions you might have. Thank you.